We see a lot of work in Chicago. I think that both the mayor and the governor of Illinois have really been supportive of small business through a variety of methods, including access to universities, tax breaks, targeted tax breaks, this sort of thing. Talent is a major issue. That's a real dilemma, because if you are a small market, how do you find the best engineer? How do you find the best computer programmer? How do you find the best salesperson? Recruiting talent and providing a channel to the best talent is probably the thing that would help most small businesses the most. Can government do that? Well, to an extent it can. By tapping into universities, by creating mentorship programs, advisory boards, et cetera, et cetera. I think government has a role to play. So governments can be kind of a green light or a yellow light, but at the end of the day, it kind of has to come from the business community itself. Governments aren't going to create businesses. We don't want them to do that, and they're not particularly equipped to do that. But there is a role to play in terms of making the environment as attractive as it can be, access to capital, and frankly just connections. The kind of interesting partnerships you see in places like North Carolina, Chicago I mentioned, New York State is not terrible, it involves connecting people to the resources that they need. Universities are a great place for that to happen. Certain nonprofits are very good at advisory boards, getting the best business minds of a community together, once a month for a lunch or a seminar or something. Connecting people, allowing networks to grow and thrive. I think that's a very valid role for government, and some governments seem to be doing it pretty well. It's very exciting to see this happening in Pensacola. There are existing entrepreneurial alliances throughout the country that I'm sure you're familiar with. There's the Entrepreneurs Organization. We work closely with a group in Nashville. When Inc. has its events in Nashville, there's a great entrepreneurship center there. There are pockets all over the country. Steve Case has his Rise of the Rest tour, most recently I think through different cities in the South. There are a lot of tremendous organizations out there, and from my point of view, the more the better. But what's great about it being entrepreneurs, like, somebody's going to come up with a better model. The stuff that's out there is good, but we need innovation in that space as much as in any other, and it's really exciting to kind of watch these things take life, because the landscape's going to look different 10 or 20 years from now. So who's the innovator? Who's the one who's got it right? I love watching that. It's like sports for me.